prison. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera is following the hearing, and he joins us now live with the latest. Eric?
Maria, inside the Board of Pardons and Parole, Menzies sat quietly as his attorneys called a steady stream of witnesses, each trying to chip away at the image of a man too dangerous to live. Former Corrections Captain Lyle Smith told the board he found Menzies, quote, friendly and a very low risk. Then came Stephanie Callahan, a former caseworker who painted a slower, more deliberate portrait of Menzies, describing twice weekly 2-hour sessions where even basic program lessons became uphill climbs. She said it often took him far longer than other inmates to finish assignments, and he leaned on others for help when questions confused him. We'll hear from several other witnesses over the next 3 days before the board decides. Reporting live, Eric Cabrera, KSL News Radio.
If the Utah Board of Pardons does not grant Menzies' request to commute his sentence, he still has some options to try to avoid facing the firing squad.
The commutation hearing is not the last appeal, as it were, for Menzies. His attorneys have also filed one more petition in front of the trial court, the judge that decided that he was competent, arguing that his dementia is continuing to accelerate and that each day he becomes less and less competent. So that issue is still going to be requested at least one more time.
KSL legal analyst and co-host of Inside Sources, Greg Skorda, says he expects the judge will rule quickly on any final appeals well before the scheduled September 5th execution date. Neighboring businesses to the ones that burned down on Main Street in Salt Lake City say they are grateful that they are still standing, but they're worried about the long-term impact that this fire will have on them.
Those were some very busy businesses that brought a lot of traffic down here, and it really helped.
Brian Raybold owns Array Salon. He tells KSL TV he's worried their businesses could lose patrons with those 4 bars and restaurants now gone. He says he hopes that they are rebuilt and that the community can come together to help one another. But it may not be easy to rebuild. Historians say the buildings lost in the fire have been part of the city for decades. KSL TV's Deanie Wimmer has more.
Salt Lake City used to have a thriving alcohol industry, and there was a section of Main Street that was actually called Whiskey Street. Brandy Strand with Preservation Utah says it will take a lot to rebuild.
A lot of times, we think, oh, we can just build it back. There's no replicating the materials that were used to build those buildings.
For more of our coverage on the aftermath of the fire on Main Street and links to how you can help, head to kslnewsradio.com. Utah leaders are looking to sell off plots of state-owned land to build new affordable housing.
This new program allows the state to sell plots of underutilized land so starter condos can be built on them.
These are mostly dirt lots or half-paved lots or, areas where the government has acquired some land and for whatever reason hasn't needed it or is ready to dispose of it. And so we thought there's a great opportunity.
Steve Waldrop is the governor's senior advisor for housing strategy and innovation. He tells me they've been authorized to sell about a dozen plots currently owned by UDOT, most of which are here along the Wasatch Front. Waldrop says he hopes this program will help younger Utahns break into the housing market.
We're losing our youth because they can't achieve the American dream here that they can elsewhere. And so we need to bring back that opportunity.
Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
The state's annual homelessness report just came out, and it shows some promising signs. State Homeless Coordinator Wayne Niederhauser says homelessness in the state has increased 18%, but
95% of the increase was people in shelter, rather than unsheltered, which is living in places unfit for human habitation in the streets.
Niederhauser says the increase is still troubling, but Utah is still in better shape than the rest of the country, with the state's homeless rate well below the national average. Salt Lake City's leaders will address the report at 1 o'clock, and you can listen to their reaction right here on KSL News Radio. KSL's top national stories. President Trump is answering questions about his summit with Vladimir Putin set for Friday in Alaska.
Heading into the Anchorage summit, the president says he's still hopeful he can get Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky together in the same room.
There's a very good chance that we're going to have a second meeting, which will be more productive than the first.
But he added a caveat.
There may be no second meeting.
Trump tells reporters he does not believe he'll be able to convince Putin to stop striking civilian targets in Ukraine, that he's had that talk with Putin before. But he also vowed to ramp up the pressure on Moscow if Putin doesn't agree to stop the war.
There will be very severe consequences, yes.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
A other national stories KSL is following this hour. President Trump announced the latest recipients of the Kennedy Center honors today. The president has taken over the Kennedy Center's programming and direction and says, as chairman, he's getting rid of what he called woke programming. The president says KISS is one of this year's honorees.
KISS became a global phenomenon, sold more than 100 million records worldwide, and produced 30 gold albums and lots of other things they produced. They made a fortune. And they're great people, and they deserve it.
Among the other honorees are George Strait, Sylvester Stallone, Gloria Gaynor. President Trump plans to host the ceremony in December. First Look Traffic. Good afternoon, Ricky. Welcome back.
Good afternoon, Maria. Thank you. We do have a crash in the West Jordan area, northbound Mountain View corridor at 90th South. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:06.
You've lived with the pain long enough. The missed meals, covered smiles, the moments you've avoided because of your teeth. If you're living with missing or broken teeth or struggling with dentures, take your life back. Stubbs Dental Implant Center has helped thousands reclaim their health, confidence, and joy with permanent dental implants. What do Stubbs Dental patients say?
I'm no longer in pain, and I can finally be myself again after getting dental implants. I just wish I would have gone to Stubbs Dental sooner.
I was at a denture for 10 years before I got dental implants. My life has completely changed thanks to Stubbs Dental.
You know, I hated looking at myself in the mirror. Getting dental implants from Stubbs Dental has been life-changing.
As a 3-time Best of State winner with over 2,500 5-star Google reviews, Stubbs Dental doesn't just fix teeth, they change lives. Visit StubbsDental.com today to reserve your free consultation. A $350 value completely free. StubbsDental.com.
The Social Security Administration just announced they are now projected to run out of money 1 year earlier than expected. Benefits could be cut by as much as 23%, and the average person could lose more than $100,000 in lifetime income. This news could significantly change when you file for Social Security. Discover how you could get every penny out of your benefits with a free Social Security analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. This free, customized analysis could help you get every penny out of Social Security. Call 801-896-9622. That number again, 801-896-9622.
Boss Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the Social Security Administration.
Thank you for joining us for Midday. Recapping our top story, the commutation hearings for Utah death row inmate Ralph Menzies are underway today. It could be among his last chance to escape the death penalty before his September 5th execution date. KSL News Time, 12:08. Utah Governor Spencer Cox has proclaimed August as Immunization Awareness Month in Utah. Carrie Butler with Utah Public Health Association says it's significant because of recent pushback to vaccines.
The more disinformation gets out there about immunizations and vaccines, the less people are likely to get those required vaccines, which does lend itself to these outbreaks.
Butler says since 1974, more than 154 million lives were saved by immunizations. She says it's important for children, adults, and senior citizens to be up to date on their vaccines. Softball season has been disrupted in Layton after people on e-bikes vandalized 2 city fields. KSL News Radio's Viril Johansson has the story.
Officials say the fields need extensive repairs before they will be playable again. Looking at pictures from the city, it looks like the e-bike riders were doing donuts all over the infield. The city's parks website says this vandalism means there's only one softball field left for people to play on in Layton at Ellison Park.
They are asking the public to contact Layton Police if they know anything about the incident. The Delta Center will continue to be an iconic stop downtown for the next century. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla explains.
Salt Lake City has approved a new lease that could keep the Utah Jazz and the Utah Mammoth at the arena for years to come. The lease does have some requirements. All future games must be held at the Delta Center, and any arena changes cannot affect its operational abilities. Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall says it's about seeing long-term value in the arena and the downtown area.
It's about ensuring that this iconic venue with its appropriate name of the Delta Center now back on it remains a benefit to our community in new and in meaningful ways.
The lease also allows investors to pay only $1 annually for the next 100 years. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Traffic near the state capitol will be backed up until Friday. UDOT says an irrigation line broke yesterday afternoon. There is a closure from the roundabout to about 2nd North and a local-only closure from North Temple to 2nd North. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. And here's Ricky Bees.
We actually have good speeds on the Valley freeways, but some problems on some of the other roadways. On Mountain View Corridor northbound, we have a crash at 90th South in West Jordan. Shouldn't be there too much longer, and I'm not really seeing any kind of major backups from it, so that's good news. Also in Tooele County, a crash on Main Street, SR 36, out of traffic going southbound at 2000 North. It's on the right shoulder. Now, we've had damaged roadway eastbound I-80 in the right lane. This is 2 miles past Wanship, and crews are still on the scene, so continue to watch for that for crews in the area there. No matter the weather, your feet can feel fantastic. Find the Good Feet location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Forecasting triple digits today, 101. We could tie a record. Partly cloudy skies. Overnight, 72 degrees, partly cloudy. And then it's mostly cloudy by tomorrow afternoon. 30% chance to see some thunderstorms materialize. 96 the high. Better chance for storms on Friday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
A lot of sunshine in downtown Salt Lake City, 93 degrees. Coming up on Midday with Maria Shilaos. Utah high school girls will now be able to play football. We'll talk to the founder of a new state football association just for them. That's coming up, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. Sponsored by At Your Service Pros. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. It's a good thing that I'm more active during the summer because with all the barbecues and vacations and all sorts of fun events, it is really tough to keep the weight off. And it's also why I'm really glad that I was someone who took part in the Salt Lake City Fat Loss Program, because not only did it allow me to lose more than 40 pounds, it's allowed me to help keep it off. They've given me a lot of support in maintenance, which is so important. I mean, keeping it off is the whole goal, right? Not just losing it. With Salt Lake City Fat Loss, I've loved this program. It's all natural. There are no injections or surgeries, just a simple combination of foods to burn off your stored fat. And they burn off that stored fat very quickly, so you stay excited about staying on the program and losing that extra weight. Plus, this plan is easy to follow. Great resources, like I said, to keep you accountable. They have a great app that gives you daily ideas and inspiration and keeps you accountable. Right now, you could save $200 off. Find out how at saltlakeCityFatLoss.com, or you can even call them at 801-450-1882. Wouldn't it be great to lose up to a pound per day? That's what many of their clients lose. Just go to slcfatloss.com, slcfatloss.com.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370, 888-999-6370, or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter Get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale, up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery with the purchase of any smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
KSL News Time, 12:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
state leaders are looking to sell some plots of underutilized government land here in Utah so new affordable starter condos can be built on them. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, new state data on homelessness shows that while homelessness is up, those who are unsheltered is down. We'll hear from Salt Lake City leaders on this live at 1 o'clock. Third, traffic and weather together, Ricky.
We had an accident northbound Mountain View corridor at 90th South in the West Jordan area. Traffic does seem to be getting through while crews remain on the scene. And we also still have crews working on that damaged roadway eastbound I-80 past Wanship on the way to Hoytsville. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Record high for today is 102 back in 2007. Guess what? The forecast is 101. I'm Matt Johnson.
It's sunny, 93 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Key talks today between President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelensky. That virtual meeting included VP J.D. Vance and European leaders. It comes ahead of Friday's face-to-face meeting in Alaska with President Trump and Vladimir Putin. The president has vowed there will be severe consequences if Putin doesn't agree to the end of the war. At the same time, the White House called the first meeting a listening exercise for the president. Zelensky not included in this meeting.
We'll have a quick second one. I would like to do it almost immediately, and we'll have a quick second meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky and myself if they'd like to have me there.
Russia has indicated it has not changed its stance on demands for a ceasefire, which includes Ukraine giving up territory. Zelensky and European leaders are asking for an immediate end to the war and security guarantees. The White House says it will conduct a review of exhibits at the Smithsonian Museums to reflect President Trump's view of history. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has more.
The White House says it will lead its own review to ensure Smithsonian exhibits align with the president's directives to, quote, celebrate American exceptionalism and remove divisive or partisan narratives. The Smithsonian responded in a statement saying it will collaborate constructively with the White House. But the president's ability to pressure the Smithsonian is limited. It's governed by a board of regents, led by Chief Justice John Roberts. Its members aren't appointed by the president. Instead, they're nominated by the board itself and confirmed by both houses of Congress.
The Israeli Hostage Center is calling for a nationwide strike this Sunday, pushing for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his hardline right coalition to end the war in Gaza and secure the release of all remaining Hamas-held hostages. Extreme heat keeping its grip on western states and the East Coast today with record temperatures and humidity. You're listening to ABC News.
Time for the KSL In-Depth. Football has historically been a men's sport, but more and more we are seeing opportunities for women to play. Enter the Utah High School Girls Football Association, which will allow girls from 8th to 12th grade to play flag football. Joining me now live is Ryan Neville, founder of the Utah High School Girls Football Association. And Ryan, thanks for being with me.
Well, thanks for having me on.
So tell us, what was your inspiration for starting the league?
I would say it was my daughter and her love for playing football here at Utah with that tackle league. And I combined that with seeing girls flag football take off across the nation and thought it was a surprise that Utah didn't have it here yet.
Yeah, describe for us why you think it's important for girls to have this chance.
Football is a funny sport because it allows a space for all different types of people and skill levels. And so being part of a team, it gives these girls a space where they can connect with fellow peers their own age and go out there and, try something new, push themselves. And it's been a long time coming.
So where is this opportunity being offered?
We're offering it up here in the Salt Lake Valley, we'll say. I mean, I have girls registered as far north as Ogden and as far south as Spanish Fork. So, and then we run from Tooele up into Park City. And so each team is looking to, put together at least 10 girls, and they would form a team and join our club.
So what have been some of your challenges in setting up this association?
Challenges right now, there's always, uniforms and jerseys. Luckily, we've created a great partnership with the Las Vegas Raiders, who have helped us out there. And then, of course, securing fields to play on. And right now, getting the word out. When we found out, it was the end of the school year, so we've been trying to find girls throughout the summer, which can be a little challenging, but the response has been great in the last few months.
So what would you tell those girls who might just kind of be on the fence on this? How would you inspire them?
I would ask them just to, come out and give it a shot. We don't expect any – here's a nice thing. It isn't in Utah. No one's really played it. If you've played it, you probably played it out of the state. So come out. You're athletic. You're quick. Again, football, there's a spot for everyone that your coach can find to put you in.
Ryan, appreciate your time. Thanks for being with me.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Take care.
You too. Live on the KSL Newsline, that is Ryan Neville. He is the founder of the Utah High School Girls Football Association. Let's get you caught up on traffic and weather. It's brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account, and here's Ricky Meese.
We do have crews that are working a damaged roadway in Summit County eastbound to I-80. It's a couple of miles past Wanship on the way to Hoytsville. It may cause you a little bit of slowing, but no major delays for now. Also, an accident that we had in Tooele County has already cleared on Main Street, SR 36 at 2000 North. It really didn't cause a problem because it was out of traffic anyway. And also, the final cleanup of the crash at Murray. This is on the exit ramp, northbound I-15 at 53rd South, not blocking any traffic. And the accident that we had, Mountain View at 90th South, has been cleared. Mortgage rates are going down. Take advantage. Visit loansbyrick.com at Vintage Lending. Loansbyrick.com. NMLS 241179, Equal Opportunity Lender. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starting out with an absolute toaster. Day number 6 on the season with triple digits. 101 today, partly cloudy. 96 tomorrow. I got mostly cloudy skies by afternoon with a 30% chance to see a dry thunderstorm. Better thunderstorm chances on Friday and Saturday, giving both days a 40% chance with highs in the low 90s. Partly cloudy and 93 on Sunday. Monday, 95. We bounce back to 96 by Tuesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And a lot of sunshine and 93 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Quick check of the markets. Well, the Dow is doing great, up nearly 400 points. Complete update of your money news is coming up next.
If you need new windows and you live in Utah, there's only one choice. There are other window companies, but they're more expensive and their windows aren't made in Utah for Utah's ever-changing climate. Advanced Window Products has been building state-of-the-art windows right here in Salt Lake for 39 years. And since they're the factory, they cut out the middleman and you save 30, even 40% on new windows. Plus, right now as they book for fall, Advanced Windows will give you $2,500 off on 10 windows or more. They build the windows, install the windows, and guarantee them for life. And since they're right here in Utah, if you have a problem years from now, just call them. They'll come over. Advanced Windows offers 0% financing, buy now, pay later. They're affordable. Get your new windows and get the energy savings before we get to winter. $2,500 off. Call them, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or go to advancedwindows.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Get Mr. Mac's Performance Missionary Package. Includes 1 performance suit, 4 head collar stretch shirts, 3 ties, 1 mission belt, 1 pair of Echo or Johnston & Murphy shoes. All for just $695 at Mr. Mac.
KSL News Time 1225. Tropical storm Erin is steaming across the Atlantic and gaining strength. The storm is expected to grow into a powerful hurricane by this weekend.
As it hugs that Bermuda high, the closer it gets to Bermuda, the farther it is from the East Coast. We want that front to kind of squeeze it between and nobody gets hit. That would be ideal, but we're still more than a week away from that happening, so we'll be watching carefully. There is plenty of fuel out there, 4 to 5 degrees warmer than average in the waters that will go into.
ABC News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z says the storm will likely pass north of Puerto Rico, but its exact track is still uncertain. Watching Utah's money, iconic film company Kodak could go out of business after more than 130 years. USA Today reports it's facing more than a $470 million debt and a bleak outlook for the rest of the year. Shares were down after the news. It's expensive to have friends. A new Ally Bank survey found 3 in 5 respondents say social activities impact their financial goals. Gen Z and millennials spend an average of $250 each month on activities with their friends. U.S. News and World Report is looking at some of the best workplaces in the country, and 20 of them are right here in Utah. Several factors were considered, including quality of pay, benefits, work-life balance, job stability, and professional development. Some of those workplaces include Maverick, Crumble, and Domo. Your money at this moment, the Dow up by nearly 400 points, sitting at 44,858. That's up nearly a full percent. The S&P 500 up by 13 points, and the NASDAQ it's up by 18 points. It seems Americans may be rethinking their relationship with alcohol.
In 2015, 28% of U.S. adults said even moderate alcohol consumption is a health risk. A decade later, that number's jumped to 53%. And the increase is being driven by a growing number of younger adults who say even 1 or 2 drinks a day can have adverse effects on your health. More people are also abstaining completely. 54% of those surveyed by Gallup do say they drink either wine, beer, or spirits, but that's the lowest number than at any point in the past 3 decades.
That is ABC's Sherry Preston reporting.
Can you believe it?
Touchdown! Stayed inside the boundary.
17 days until opening kickoff. This is your home for BYU football. Plus, breaking news and weather every morning. Listen for Andy and Amanda each morning when you get in the car. And Jeff Kaplan on the drive home on KSL News Radio.
Worried about market losses? If headlines are keeping you up at night, it's time to take control. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I know you've worked hard to save. But in times like these, what if can turn into what now? If you're planning to retire or are in retirement, you need a strategy that helps protect your future. At Trajan Wealth, you can capture market gains, protect your account from losses, and guarantee income for life. Right now, you could receive a bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. You heard me right. An upfront bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10%, all guaranteed to boost your lifetime income in retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Plan with confidence. Call Trajan today at 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company, DBA, in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Traffic and weather is brought to you by Mountain America's MyStyle checking account, and here's Ricky Meese.
We do have a new accident. This is in South Salt Lake, northbound I-15 prior to 2100 South. It is out of traffic over to the right shoulder, so a little bit of slow curiosity backups it was causing. Those have already cleared out, and actually looking at a delay-free drive on the rest of your Valley freeways. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
We're going for our 6th triple-digit day on the summer. This afternoon, forecasting 101. Records 102 from back in 2007. Partly cloudy skies. Overnight, we recover to 72 degrees, partly cloudy. Tomorrow, Mostly cloudy skies by afternoon, threatening clouds, maybe even some dry thunderstorms, 96 the high. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
A lot of sunshine, 93 degrees downtown.
You're listening to Midday with Maria Shilaos
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon. KSL News Time, 1230. KSL's top story this half hour. Today, it's back to school for thousands of kids, including those in the Alpine School District, where they are set to split the year after next. KSL News Radio's Adam Small begins our team coverage.
Today's the second to last time kids in the state's largest school district will have their first day of classes before the district splits into 3 in 2027. Alpine School District Interim Superintendent Robert Smith tells KSL he gets asked about this more than anything else, and he says it can be distracting. That's why he's telling everyone in the district to stay focused on the kids and teaching them.
You can get distracted. We all can be distracted by this. I've invited people to stay focused, stay on their game, and help us achieve even higher levels of learning this year and next year. And it's going to be tough because those distractions will be there.
Ultimately, Smith says he believes his teachers and staff have what it takes to keep the spotlight on the kids as they head back to class. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
In addition to the Alpine School District, Provo, Nebo, and Granite School Districts all welcomed kids back to the classroom this morning. It's also the opening day for the newly built Sage Canyon Middle School in Eagle Mountain.
To have just this brand new school with incredible classrooms, great technology, everything's pretty well state of the art.
Principal Brian Jolly says the school welcomed 1,500 kids to class today. Families are cutting back this back-to-school season, with many worried about rising prices and tariffs. KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson continues our back-to-school team coverage.
Back to school can be expensive, but trends are following consumer sentiment, showing that families have spent less this year than last year. Certified financial planner with DMBA Shane Stewart says it's great to see people not overextend themselves, but there is one area where he does still see people getting into trouble.
Tuition, going to a school that you really wanted to go to, but the tuition is very high. If you can't afford the tuition, you might look at other options.
Stewart says he's seen an increase in things like clothing drives and backpack giveaways that show communities and families are working together to try and keep costs down. Britt Johnson, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories. President Trump is considering extending the federal government's control of the D.C. police force. The president said today he plans to extend the control past the 30 days allotted to him by proposing a law to Congress. He also pushes back on efforts to make Washington, D.C. a state.
Statehood is ridiculous. We want to straighten the place out. Statehood's ridiculous. It's unacceptable.
President Trump has claimed that crime in Washington is at an all-time high, but recent data shows that crime is the lowest it's been in decades. Other national stories KSL is following this hour. The Texas House of Representatives was again without a quorum yesterday. More than 50 Democratic members remain out of the state, intentionally blocking a vote on a redistricting plan that could yield 5 more Republican seats in Congress. Governor Greg Abbott says if no action is taken on redistricting, he'll call yet another special session of the legislature.
This is Jim Ryan. A judge has ordered that former Congressman Beto O'Rourke and his Political Action Committee stop raising money for the 54 Democrats decamped to other states. O'Rourke did hold a rally in Abilene Saturday.
Those 54 are all that stand between us and those stolen 5 congressional seats.
But he didn't solicit contributions. Still, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has filed a motion for contempt against Beto O'Rourke. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Primary election results are being counted today around the state, and we have numbers from some of the higher profile races.
According to numbers posted on city websites, Provo Mayor incumbent Michelle Kafusi is leading with a majority of 49% of votes. Kafusi has held her position for 7 years and faces 3 other candidates. Former state representative Marcia Judkins came close behind with about 44% of the votes. Also in Utah County at Eagle Mountain, an upset as current city council member Jared Gray is running for mayor and leading out over 4 other candidates, including the current mayor, who only got about 15% of the votes. In Salt Lake County, Sandy incumbent Mayor Monica Zoltansky showed her popularity by leading out 30 percentage points over the next runner-up. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
UDOT is removing 500 gallons of spilled paint from I-80 near Wanship, along with the top 2 inches of the pavement. Crews had been restriping the road Monday when a semi-truck crashed into the paint truck. 500 gallons of white and yellow paint exploded across the roadway. Since then, crews have been working to remove the paint, and John Gleason with UDOT says they now have a solution.
We could water blast the paint off the road, but the concern is that if we did that, we may cause some damage to the pavement there.
The truck had also been carrying 4,000 pounds of glass beads, which are used to give the paint its reflective surface. Lanes will be closed intermittently as the pavement is being replaced. The goal is to have the whole road open by tonight. First look traffic. What's going on, Ricky?
A new crash in Davis County. This is in the Woods Cross area, westbound 5th South, prior to Redwood Road. I'm going to call it 1100, maybe 1300 West. You'll see it over to the right, but traffic is able to get around it. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:35.
Utah deserves better. If your lights flicker, breakers trip, or something just doesn't feel safe, the last thing you need is someone trying to tell you your electrical panel needs to be replaced, your house needs to be rewired, and you should probably rewire your neighbor's house too. But sadly, that's exactly what's happening since a lot of home service companies have been bought out by private equity groups that are focused on profits and not people. At Your Service Pros is different. We're Utah-based, family-owned, and built on trust, not quotas. That's why we offer a full electrical inspection for just $49. We'll check everything, your panel, wiring, outlets, grounding, and give you an honest report. If it's safe, we'll say so. If it's not, we'll explain exactly what needs to be done and help you fix it the right way, without pressure. We've served Utah families for over 20 years, and we're proud of the 4.9-star rating from people who trust us to do things right. So call out Your Service Pros today at 801-YOUR-PRO to schedule your $49 electrical inspection. That's 801-YOUR-PRO, because Utah deserves better.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Ready to elevate your everyday? Quince has the Luxe Staples Insider Swear By, minus the markup. From 100% European linen styles and 14-karat gold jewelry to gorgeous leather bags and elevated home finds, Quince has it all. And by partnering directly with top artisans and ethical factories, Quince delivers premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. Discover everyday luxury without the markup at Quince. Go to quince.com/style upgrade for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/style upgrade.
Thank you for joining us for Midday. Recapping our top story, several school districts welcome students back into the classroom today, including Alpine, which is in its last year before that district splits. KSL News Time, 12:38. A former Logan police officer will spend 2 months in jail after pleading guilty to sexually abusing a woman in his squad car. Police say 27-year-old Carlos Cubayas found two women walking around 2 in the morning, so he gave them a ride. But as they were leaving, police say then touched one of them inappropriately and forced her to give him her phone number, which he used to conduct searches on her. Cubayas pleaded guilty last June to lesser charges. He has now been sentenced to 2 months in jail and 4 years of probation. One of Utah's most high-profile unsolved murder cases turns 30 years old today. It was August 13th, 1995, when Rosie Tapia disappeared from her room in the middle of the night. KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff begins our team coverage.
Investigators say Rosie disappeared from her bedroom through a window sometime between 2 and 5:30 in the morning.
There were fingerprints on the window from the inside.
When Rosie's body was discovered by a man walking his dog, investigators thought her death may have been an accident. But when the autopsy revealed she had been sexually assaulted, it turned into a murder investigation.
It's becoming a larger investigation than maybe it was initially.
Police were interested in a man who had been seen watching the kids at the neighborhood playground and had carried Rosie home after she fell off the slide, but no one was ever arrested. Salt Lake police tell me the investigation is still active, but there haven't been any new leads in the case. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
30 years after Rosie Tapia's death, her family is still searching for answers. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera has that part of the story.
3 decades have passed, but the Tapia family search for justice has never slowed. They've worked with investigators, pushed for new leads, and leaned on the Utah Cold Case Coalition, which has released sketches, launched the Rosie Tapia Identification Project, and used new DNA tools to try and find her killer. Rosie's mother, Louine, told KSL TV 30 years ago,
"We knew that Rosie wouldn't just climb out of the window at that late at night and just leave and go throw herself in the river, because we know she wouldn't do that."
For the Tapia family, keeping Rosie's memory alive means keeping hope alive too. Eric Cabrera, KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. Let's check in again with Ricky Meese.
Crews are still working to clean up this crash on northbound I-15 prior to 2100 south. It's out of traffic over to the right shoulder, not causing any delay. In fact, we have good speeds on all the Valley freeways at this time. A crash in Davis County, westbound 5th South in the Woods Cross area. This is a block or two prior to Redwood Road over to the right. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
High pressure is traversing the state of Utah today. That'll keep things hot. 101, a degree shy of a record, partly cloudy skies. 72 overnight, partly cloudy. Then tomorrow, cooler, 96, with afternoon buildups, maybe even a dry, gusty thunderstorm. Working into Friday, 93, 40% chance for scattered storms. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
A lot of sunshine and 93 degrees downtown coming up on midday. For the first day of school at several Utah school districts, Granite's superintendent is talking about chronic absenteeism and the safety measures they are focusing on this year. That's coming up, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
I didn't just lose 82 pounds in 16 weeks. I lost fear. I lost shame. I lost that nagging voice in my head that told me I couldn't do it. I thought weight loss meant being hungry or miserable. Soda showed me something different. I wasn't starving. I wasn't white-knuckling it throughout the day. I was learning. I was eating real food, texting my nutritionist when I had a question or hit a wall. People asked if I do it again, and I tell them I do it twice. Because when I got back, my energy, my focus, my sense of control. This isn't about fitting into skinny jeans. It's about showing up for life. Go to sodaweightloss.com. Click the Request Your Nutritionist callback. SOTA, it stands for State of the Art. Sodaweightloss.com. You can do this. You know how I know you can do it? Man, I did it. And I like to eat. Sodaweightloss.com.
Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Jeff Kaplan. I'm energized by breaking news. First of all, because it's right now, and second of all, because in many cases the audience needs to know. There's no more important service that we can provide, and I find it critically important to get more details to the audience as quickly as possible. There's nothing more energizing than that for me. Not at all. The most important thing we do is breaking news. I am gratified that so many people listen to me every afternoon on KSL, but what they don't know is that there are so many people behind the scenes making it happen, checking on the traffic, answering the phones, making the calls, talking to the newsmakers. They're out in the street, into the field to get the raw information, and then putting it all together so that I can sit in front of a microphone and be a source of information every afternoon. But there are so many people who make it happen. That's what you don't know.
Ride Home with Jeff Kaplan, weekdays 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 1245. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
families are working to stay inside their back-to-school budgets despite rising costs. Consumers are spending less than last year because of tariffs and economic uncertainty. I'm KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson.
Second, lane closures on I-80 today near Wanship as crews try to chip off the top layer of the roadway covered in paint after a semi hit a road striping truck earlier this week. Third, traffic and weather together, Ricky.
The crash we had northbound I-15 halfway between 33rd and 2100 South has been cleared. It really didn't cause too much of a problem since it was out of traffic on the shoulder. And we're in the final cleanup of a crash in Davis County, westbound 5th South prior to Redwood Road. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
I got some hot weather for your Wednesday. 101 the forecast. Then we bring in some rain chances and cooler weather. I'm Matt Johnson.
A lot of sunshine, 93 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national story.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The first wave of National Guard members are in Washington, D.C. following the president's federal takeover of D.C. police. And now there's talk of asking Congress to extend their stay.
The law President Trump has invoked allows him to direct the D.C. police for up to 30 days unless Congress acts to extend the emergency he's declared. Trump says he'll ask lawmakers to do it.
Long-term extensions, because you can't have 30 days.
He shrugs off the concerns of critics who say the president is imposing his will on the city.
Instead of saying he's a dictator, they should say we're going to join him and make Washington safe.
Trump spoke at the Kennedy Center, which he says he's planning to renovate, and where he says he'll host the Kennedy Center Honors this December. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
3 people were killed in Tennessee after severe flash flooding in Chattanooga and Hamilton counties. A flood watch remains in effect for parts of the region. And in Europe, firefighters are battling both heat and wildfires across European states. This is ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. Thousands of kids are back in the classroom today in several school districts, including the Alpine, Nebo, Provo, and Granite school districts. Granite Superintendent Ben Horsley joined Inside Sources to talk about several things that they are focused on this school year, including keeping their 53,000 students in the classroom.
I think the key to that is just engaging with our parents and our families and helping them understand the importance that every day actually does in fact count. And especially for our younger grades where kids don't have the ability to monitor and their progress and be able to catch up. So we just really try to engage with families to the highest degree possible and help them understand the importance of being there every single day.
Horsley also talked about the Armed Guardian program that's in effect now across the state.
Well, as you're likely aware, HB 84 does require armed security on all of our campuses as long as school, bell to bell, essentially, when school is in session. So that was not a problem in our secondary schools. We primarily had SROs or actual police officers from allied agencies or from Granite District Police covering those roles, but to actually expand that service to armed secure all of our 60 roughly elementary schools, that's quite an undertaking and actually a huge expense. And that was actually one of the reasons we had to increase taxes this last budget cycle. Was to pay for that ongoing expense that's kind of new and unfunded from the state. So it's a good program. We do believe we want to make sure people know that if you come into one of Granite School District schools, you're going to be intending to do harm. You're going to be faced with armed security. We're going to do whatever we can to keep our students safe. But that is an expensive measure, and we'll continue to make progress on that. We're hoping to get more guardians in place throughout the school year and expand that program.
He says there are a number of other security measures in place, but they're not talking about it in detail for safety reasons. But he could say that the new Cypress High School campus is a great example of how they continue to make safety improvements.
We just finished rebuilding Cypress, obviously, and that is a single-access entry. That building, the old campus, was almost over 100 years old in some parts of that building, had, I think, 108 different entry points, and now it has one single entry where everybody comes in. And so it's a lot easier to secure that type of facility, and we'll continue to make those types of upgrades to our buildings as we have the funding to do so.
Another point of safety that they're focused on is getting students across the road safely. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. And here's Ricky Meese.
Valley Freeway traffic rolling along and looking good and crash-free. We do have the cleanup that continues on a small accident in Woods Cross. It's westbound on 5th South, about halfway between I-15 and Redwood Road. You'll see it over to the right shoulder, but you're able to get around it without too much difficulty, and there are no delays. Why settle for a basic night out when all tickets for Utah Symphony and Utah Opera performances are now on sale? Don't wait, prices go up after August 31st. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starting out hot, 101 today. That'll fall a degree short of a record that was 102 back in 2007, partly cloudy. Tomorrow, 96, mostly cloudy, with a 30% chance to see some dry thunderstorms materialize. 93, scattered storms on your Friday. We'll do it again on Saturday, 40% chance, 92 the high. Sunday, drying things out, partly cloudy, 93, and then it's mid-90s Monday and Tuesday into next week. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And it's sunny and 93 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. A quick check of the markets. The Dow up by more than 400 points at this hour. A complete update coming up next.
Everybody knows that exterior remodeling salespeople are all about the high-pressure sell. Am I right? Windows, siding, gutters, those suckers are going to twist your arm and get you to buy, or they won't leave your house at night. Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and I want you to know we don't have high-pressure sells. In fact, we don't even have salespeople. Nope, we have estimators. That's a huge difference. Estimators are trained to look at the entire scope of the project, to see and know if there are any problems, like rotten wood, wood-borne insects, or construction issues specific to your house or your neighbors. Salespeople are more concerned about playing those silly price games. Buy one, get one free, sign today and get 40% off, as if they didn't just jack the price up to give you a fake discount. RGS Exteriors estimators are going to give you a great quote. No games, no tricks, no nonsense. Call RGS Exteriors to quote your exterior project. Our number is 801-280-3110 or visit us at rgsutah.com. That's rgsutah.com.
When you crash your car, you get it fixed. When your computer crashes, you get a new one. But what will you do if you've been saving in a 401k or an IRA and the market crashes? If you're in your 30s or 40s, you'll be just fine. But if you're in or near retirement, you could be in trouble. Mike Stevens and his team at Capital Wealth Advisors are here to help. They can run a risk analysis to see if you're too heavily invested in the market. Don't let the ups and downs of Wall Street control you or your retirement dreams. Call 801-210-5500 today to schedule your risk analysis with Mike Stevens and the team at Capital Wealth Advisors. That's 801-210-5500. Crashes happen. Question is, are you ready? Capital Wealth Advisors, 801-210-5500. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Advisory services offered through Capital Wealth Advisors, LLC, a state of Utah registered investment advisor.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
KSL News Time 1254. A former congressional candidate who championed accessible health care is now leading a different organization. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
She ran for Congress and Salt Lake County Mayor in 2018 and the County Council in 2020. But Shireen Gorbani is now the president and CEO of the Planned Parenthood Association of Utah. She has been speaking out against attempts to defund the organization and restrict access to abortion for years. But she says she is always willing to be a collaborative partner.
If this legislature, if our local leaders are interested in coming to the table and finding productive solutions to ensure that Utahns have access to care, I will be there with an open mind and an open heart any day.
Planned Parenthood served more than 35,000 patients last year, providing contraception, family planning services, and cancer screenings. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Watching Utah's money, Capital One is paying out $425 million settlement. It's over claims the company froze interest rates at a low level for years, cheating customers out of more than $2 billion in lost interest payments. The 99 cents it costs to buy a can of Arizona iced tea could soon become a thing of the past. The company's founder tells the New York Times they're not sure they can keep going with the tariffs on aluminum. Company sells more than 2 billion cans annually, making more than $4 billion in sales. Multiple retailers have set out Summerween decor, but Target is cutting to the chase and dropping their Halloween collection online. It includes more than 1,500 items, including the cult favorite Lewis, a pumpkin ghost that talks and gained popularity when it first dropped in 2023. And taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is up by 409 points, nearly a full percent, sitting at 44,865. S&P up by 13, the NASDAQ up by 18 points. Aides to President Trump say they've got their eyes on what's in America's attic, the nickname used to describe the Smithsonian Institution.
The White House says it will lead its own review to ensure Smithsonian exhibits align with the president's directives to, quote, celebrate American exceptionalism and remove divisive or partisan narratives. The Smithsonian responded in a statement saying it will collaborate constructively with the White House. But the president's ability to pressure the Smithsonian is limited. It's governed by a board of regents, led by Chief Justice John Roberts. Its members aren't appointed by the president. Instead, they're nominated by the board itself and confirmed by both houses of Congress.
That is ABC's Stephen Portnoy. We are standing by for a press conference coming to us to talk about the state of Utah's homelessness. That coming up in any minute. We'll bring that to you live.
When you need a new water heater, you need it right now.
Yep, can't wait on that.
When you need a new furnace or a new air conditioner come the summertime, you need it right now. So Superior Water and Air has a wonderful program where they can help you with financing. If you need it, get it today and pay it off when you get your tax refund or just over time.
And that's one of the great things is they have multiple financing options. It's not just one, okay, you've got to do it this way. It's, you can wait till just after your tax refund. Well, what if you need no payments until later in the year?
Yeah.
They can work with you like that because, look, they want to help you get you back on your feet with the thing that doesn't work that you got to use.
Yeah.
And they'll just work with your situation. What a great way to do it.
I loved introducing you to my friends at Superior because they're just great people. And when you invite somebody into your home, you want to feel good about them.
Yeah, and they're so customer-centric. That was what really impressed me was they wanted to work with me and my family, whatever needs we might have.
Right. They want your home to be safe and clean. Superior Water and Air. Here's the number, 801-872-8483, or go to superiorwaterandair.com.
KSL Broadcast Group contests are open to participants 18 years of age and older that are residents of Utah, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest may not enter. Persons who have won in the last 30, 60, or 90 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available at kslnewsradio.com/contests.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. Here's Ricky Meese.
Crews have wrapped up a crash downtown at 7th East and 4th South, and we still have the clearing of the crash in Woods Cross westbound 5th South. Halfway between I-15 and Redwood Road, really not causing any delays. Valley Freeway traffic rolling along and looking good. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's going to be tough to stay cool today. We are headed for a high of 101 degrees. Tomorrow, just a tad cooler with a high of 96. And down to the low 90s by Friday and Saturday. It does look like we have a 40% chance of showers on both Friday and Saturday before the sunshine returns on Sunday, but the high is still staying in the 90s. 95 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. And as I said, we are standing by at this hour for a news conference from Salt Lake City Hall. Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall and Salt Lake City Police Chief Brian Redd are expected to talk about a report out on the city's homelessness, and we will bring that to you live when it happens right here on KSL News Radio.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
And we do have breaking news. Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall has now stepped to the podium microphone talking about this new report out on homelessness.
2025 annual report. And notably, this report includes data from this year's point in time or PIT count, which was conducted earlier this year in January. That count showed 500. That count showed 4,584 Utahns experiencing homelessness on a single night, which is an 18% increase from 2024. That's an additional 715 people across the state without housing. The report also outlines several other year-over-year increases, including, sadly, the number of Utah children experiencing homelessness has increased by 12%. The number of Utahns over age 64 experiencing homelessness rose 42%. And the number of veterans experiencing homelessness increased by 36%. I want to be clear that I'm standing here before you today because I am deeply concerned about the trajectory of homelessness in the state of Utah and in our capital city. And what's more, I'm extremely concerned by the lack of forward momentum from legislative leaders to address this growing statewide crisis. This year's point-in-time count showing the 18% increase in Utahns experiencing homelessness should be heard as a battle cry to bring more energy, focus, and leadership to this issue by our state legislature. To our state leaders, your partners are here. We are ready and willing to work with you, and the changes that are needed are clear. As your partners, we have a plan for 1,300 more shelter beds. We have made land available, yet as of today, we have only 1/3 of the capital funding needed to build the first phase, and not a penny of operational capital. Salt Lake City's public safety plan mapped 50 actions needed to improve safety and address homelessness in our capital city, and Salt Lake City is making good on our part. But the reality is this is a humanitarian crisis. This is not something that we can police our way out of. And as Chief Redd will share momentarily, Salt Lake City is taking enforcement as far as we can, and to little avail. We continue to see record-setting numbers of calls for service through 911 to our police department. We will set records for total arrests this year, thanks in part to increased proactive policing by our officers. And importantly, overall citywide crime remains at or below a 16-year low. We're enforcing our laws. But the sad reality is that without more mental health treatment, more shelter beds, more permanent supportive housing, and more capacity in our jails, too many people remain on our streets. Utah is one of the fastest growing states in the nation. We should not be surprised to find that more people are losing their housing due to financial and economic pressures when we couple it with the inadequate statewide housing stock. There are simply not enough options for housing, shelter beds, treatment centers, or social services to meet the demand in this state. As we lead up to next year's legislative session over the coming months, we are working with our state on system-wide solutions with the State Office of Homeless Services the Administrative Office of the Courts, the legal defenders, our own Justice Court, Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson, Chief Dumont of the Salt Lake County Jail, District Attorney Sim Gill, and Representative Tyler Clancy, along with Chief Red and myself. Later this fall, this collective will bring legislative requests that are needed to right the wrongs in the system that exists today. But there are no wheels on the bus that we present unless the state moves us forward. We must see action from legislative leadership and our governor to create the change that we know is not only possible, but is desperately needed. As I said last month when we were out on these steps, progress and lead the passage of legislation that will invest both the capital and the ongoing operational funding for a new shelter space. In less than 2 years, thousands upon thousands of visitors will flock to our downtown blocks to celebrate the reopening of Salt Lake City Temple. It will be an event that lasts months and one that welcomes those from every corner of the globe. In less than 9 years, the world will join our state in welcoming back the Olympic and Paralympic Games, Winter Games. Our downtown will be the heart of this gathering, showing a new generation of Utahns the power of coming together. I only hope that as our state and our visitation numbers continue to grow, so does our capacity for helping others. So do our shelter beds and our resources. Over the next several months before the legislative session, there will undoubtedly be many other such announcements, just like the state's annual report today, that will only add to our collective level of concern. The state will soon release its winter shelter overflow plans. We may learn more about what's causing the delays to the homelessness campus, and I do not believe that this will all be good news. So I'm telling you now, in the middle of our warmest months, that the situation is dire. Salt Lake City is doing everything in our power to improve the pieces of the system that we control, but those pieces are limited. In conclusion, I think we can also be heartened by some of the facts that are found in the state's report today. Our system can be incredibly effective at